On March 1st, 2024, Akira Toriyama passed away due to a subdural hematoma or brain bleed. To say that this passing is one of the greatest tragedies to befall the anime-loving world is an understatement. Rather, Toriyama is responsible for shaping many people's childhoods, and as such, this is a blow to the world at large. Born in Nagoya, Japan in 1955, Akira Toriyama would go on to become one of the most popular manga artists in the world. Though many people are familiar with his popular manga Dragon Ball, which was released in 1984, few know about his other incredible works, including Dr. Slump, Kajika, and Sandland. His unique art style is recognizable to many, and his work inspired thousands upon thousands. It cannot be understated just what an impact this man had on the world of animation and storytelling. What he's most famous for is the manga and anime Dragon Ball Z, the sequel to Dragon Ball and its definitive successor. It was such a success, it is internationally recognized as one of the first anime to bring the genre and art medium into the mainstream media. In an interview about its success, Toriyama said, quote, "Frankly, I don't quite understand why it happened. While the manga was being serialized, the only thing I wanted as I kept drawing was to make Japanese boys happy." This fits with Toriyama's philosophy on his manga, about which he said, quote, "The role of my manga is to be a work of entertainment through and through. I dare say I don't care even if my works have left nothing behind, as long as they have entertained their readers." But Toriyama unquestionably left a great deal behind with his work, whether he intended it or not. His work has been called an inspiration by many other popular manga artists, including One Piece author Ichiro Oda, Naruto creator Masashi Kishimoto, Fairy Tail and Rave Master author Hiro Mashima, Bleach creator Tite Kubo, Black Cat author Kentaro Yabuki, and many, many others. But his influence went far beyond just Dragon Ball Z's success. He also was a designer for various video games, including Dragon Quest in 1986, Chrono Trigger in 1995, and Blue Dragon in 2006. Not to mention the countless Dragon Ball Z games that exist, including Dragon Ball Xenoverse 1 and 2, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, and many, many more. In 2011, manga critic Jason Thompson said, quote, "Dragon Ball is by far the most influential shonen manga of the last 30 years, and today, almost every Shonen Jump artist lists it as one of their favorites and lifts from it in various ways." But what was the reason for Toriyama's success? There could be said to have been many reasons, but there are a few that stand out predominantly. For one thing, at the time of Dragon Ball's creation, Toriyama was working against the grain and created something almost original. At the time, most shonen anime or manga were comprised of large, manly heroes, including City Hunter and Fist of the North Star. Dragon Ball, meanwhile, had a small, round, and goofy hero in Goku. As attributed to him by Thompson, quote, "Dragon Ball is an action manga drawn by a gag artist." Not until Dragon Ball Z did a style shift start to occur, where characters changed from round and innocent looking and beginning to adopt an angular and sharper style, which exploded with intensity, but also demonstrated the evolution from a kooky and funny martial arts manga into an intense and action-packed manga that took the world by storm. The other reasons for its success was the timing at which it was released. In the era of Dragon Ball, anime and manga were still largely constrained to just Japanese audiences, and the rest of the world had yet to fully embrace the medium. Along with works like Sailor Moon, Ranma 1/2, Pokemon, and Astro Boy, Dragon Ball was one of the first manga and anime to spread beyond Japan and find a devoted audience. And soon, the character of Son Goku was recognizable across the world. Though it took time for the medium to fully be accepted, Dragon Ball had rooted itself into the Western world, and now is honored as one of the most influential and beloved anime of all time. And this is all thanks to the work, imagination, and effort of Akira Toriyama. It is undoubtable that without him and Dragon Ball, the anime world would look incredibly different. Dragon Ball defined anime today, and the world is indebted to Toriyama for making this so. I myself owe a great deal to Toriyama. When writing my first superhero story in high school, I was struggling to create an original hero character, and so I drew inspiration from Son Goku, making the character Tomoki, a Saiyan raised on Earth to defend his city from internal and external threats, rising to become a Super Saiyan and using various techniques, training, and allies to fight earth-shaking battles. I confess it wasn't an original idea, but it was my first ever hero, and to this day, I'm still very proud of what I created, and I'm even in the process of editing certain aspects of his story to make it even better. Dragon Ball Z and Toriyama had an outstanding influence on my upbringing and my writing. I've grown as a writer since then, but I genuinely wish that I could create stories and characters that left an impact even remotely similar to what Toriyama created. I know Tomoki isn't really all that relevant in the grand scheme of things, but there are times I do look at him and kind of wish that he could be just as popular. Though at the same time, I'm also happy that he's not. I wouldn't want to overshadow Son Goku. But sadly, as the anime and manga world grieves for the loss of such an influential creator, There are those who must trample on his grave and legacy, for we live in a time where beauty and dignity are mocked and where integrity is a sick joke. On March 7th, an employee at the now infamous company Sweet Baby Inc., known simply as Kindred, sent out a tweet that read, quote, "Toriyama gave us the best and worst black characters in anime in the same series. It took range to do that." Now, while some may consider this tweet a flawed attempt to respect or draw attention to Toriyama's range, as he puts it, a discerning eye can easily see this for the distasteful post that it is. Given the controversial and floundering reputation of this individual's company that he's associated with, it seems rather amusing that such a fool would dare rear his uneducated head to mock a creator who has outstripped anything his pathetic company could dream to achieve. But as I said, that is the nature of such cretins. They cannot create anything meaningful, so they detest the successful and seek to drag it down. Because Dragon Ball and Toriyama's work is beyond successful and beloved by the world, as such, it is offensive to the mediocre talent that this individual and his company boasts. Rather than learn from their betters and predecessors, they find it easier to degenerate the successes of the great. I was quite livid when I read this tweet, but I am pleased to say that the backlash against this individual was fierce enough to cause his account to be suspended. Unfortunately, he was not alone. I discovered one other tweet that sought to undermine Toriyama. From one Sakamoto, quote, "Toriyama did not create, invent, or revolutionize anime and manga. Stop giving that man credit for everything. My favorite series would have existed with or without him. RIP to him, but stop hyping that MF up, thank you. Togashi is the actual GOAT. God bless." What I find truly ironic about this is that he is quite deluded in his thinking. He ends his message by saying Togashi is the best mangaka of all time. He is obviously referring to Yoshihiro Togashi, the creator of Hunter x Hunter and Yu Yu Hakusho. Ironically, Togashi has been called by manga critic Jason Thompson as an original imitator of the Dragon Ball formula. Quote, "Start out as a comedy, and then once the readers like the characters, have them kick the crap out of each other." Moreover, in an interview, Togashi himself said that Toriyama was a god of manga, and that if it were not for him, he would not be where he is today.
結局見てしまいました。はい。先生にとって鳥山先生というのは、そうですね。まあ非常にありきたりですけど、まあ神なので、はい、天井人ですね。はい、もうやはりジャンプでやっていて、鳥山先生がいなかったらもうおそらくここにもいないというぐらいもう影響も受け、そして、まあ目標ではないけれどもなるべく近づきたい存在、なので今も、心の支えにして頑張ってます。
For someone who looks up to Togashi so much, it must truly be embarrassing to realize you know nothing about his influences. I don't know what's more tragic, the absolute lack of any tact and respect for a titan of the medium of anime, or the fact his preferred artist was a huge fan of the man he just degraded. Now, some may argue he did offer up a rest in peace in his tweet, but I would counter by pointing out it was followed by him calling him a motherfucker. You reveal your true feelings in this manner, and it seems I was not alone in my obvious distaste for his behavior, as he has, thankfully, had his entire account deleted. It pleases me to know that there are those out there who are unwilling to cater foolish people. But I did not make this video in an attempt to demean the foolish of this world. I made this video to celebrate someone who influenced me and so many others. Though my favorite anime remains One Piece, I believe there was a specific speech in One Piece that relates well to how I feel about the passing of Toriyama. Quote one Dr. Hirolook. "When do you think a man dies? A man dies when people forget him. So long as a man is remembered and so long as his will and work is passed on, a man will never die." And as such, the anime world ensures that Toriyama has not died, at least not to us. I did not know the man personally, and I did not read all of his work or play every game he was associated with. But what I can do is offer these words. As a writer, I look to other storytellers and creators as inspirations for me. Of the many, many writers and storytellers I've read and learned from, Toriyama will stand out, remaining in my heart as one who helped to open my eyes to the world of anime, to the appreciation of shonen action stories, and to the unique nature of character growth and development presented in characters, arcs, and battles. His work has helped me to visualize and imagine fight scenes in many of my different works beyond just Tomiki. I do not know Toriyama's relationship to the Lord, but I pray that he is at peace now. One thing is for sure above all else. Toriyama may be physically gone from this world, but his work and his creations will live on forever in the hearts of people all over the world. So in a sense, Toriyama isn't gone. We just need to bring him back. And all we need to do that are the Dragon Balls. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Akira Toriyama. God bless. Take care.